Ferrari's 2025 season has been a big disappointment so far. They might be second in the Constructors' Championship, but fifth and sixth in the Drivers' Championship is not where they want to be, considering how close they were to current leaders McLaren at the end of 2024. While the Papaya team have made massive gains in the off-season, the Scuderia have failed to keep pace and as a result are yet to record a race win. What has made it worse is the fact that while Leclerc has secured 5 podiums so far, Hamilton has none. Despite their struggles, Ferrari are setting some lofty goals for the second half of the season, even if it does have a negative impact on their 2026 development. Ex-Ferrari driver Carlos Sainz has also weighed in on Lewis Hamilton's struggles against Leclerc, comparing them to his own against Alex Albon. And today, I'll be checking it all out, so don't go anywhere. With new technical regulations coming to Formula 1 next season, many teams have already stopped their development of the current cars. They want to be using as much of this year's budget and wind tunnel and CFD testing time to try and start 2026 as strongly as possible. It is usually true that as a cycle of regulations go on, there is less performance for the teams to find. Gains from development get smaller and smaller, and the performance between the teams converge. With brand new regulations next year though, there are lots of different avenues for teams to explore, and some big gains in performance can be found. Any early advantage that can be found can give any team on the grid the head start needed to be victorious in either championship. And that really does mean any team as well. Just look what Brawn did off the back of their double diffuser in 2009. They found something no one else did, and built a big enough lead early in the season to win both championships, despite having a fraction of the budget of their closest competitor Red Bull. Considering how Ferrari's season has gone up to the summer break, you might think they would be keen to turn their attention to the new regulations. They have less than half the points of the Constructors' Championship leaders McLaren, and their lead driver Charles Leclerc is 133 points behind Drivers' Championship leader Oscar Piastri. Nonetheless, Ferrari are planning to try and finish this season as strongly as they can. Team principal Frédéric Vasseur signed a contract extension with the Scuderia following the Belgian Grand Prix, ensuring he will lead the team into the next season with the major technical regulation changes and revised power units that will be introduced. Despite Ferrari not being in contention for either title this season, Vasseur says that securing his future with the team will be good for their long-term aspirations. "It's a good step," he told the official F1 channel. "We had a couple of discussions, there were some rumours in the press the last couple of weeks. I think it's not easy for the stability and mood of the team, but now it is behind us. It's important, it's a good step that we have to be ready for the last part of the season. That we are fighting for P2 in the championship with Mercedes and Red Bull, and we want to win some races before the end." So far this season, Ferrari have been absolutely nowhere near a race win. Yes, Leclerc finished second in Monaco, but that's a track and race that offers no indication of performance elsewhere on the calendar. And the reality is, Ferrari are absolutely no match for McLaren. Targeting a race win means relying on McLaren making a misstep with both their cars in a race, something that seems incredibly unlikely at this point. Even if McLaren do make mistakes, Ferrari will have to fight Verstappen and Russell for a race win, not an easy prospect. Charles Leclerc has backed up what Vasseur has said, going as far as saying that Ferrari are willing to sacrifice precious wind tunnel time to find victory. When asked whether securing second place in the Constructors' Championship is worth sacrificing valuable wind tunnel time next season for, Leclerc was clear on where his focus lies. "I'm pretty sure it's better to finish second than third," he told the media. However, as you said, there's also the wind tunnel time. This is not something we think of too much. When we're on track, we just want to finish as high as possible, and then we'll deal with whatever amount of hours in the wind tunnel we have. We want to target the highest possible. What Leclerc is referring to is a chance that Ferrari finish third or lower in the Constructors' Championship, something that would give the Scuderia more wind tunnel testing time when the testing time is recalculated at the end of this season. Essentially, the lower you are in the Constructors' Championship at the summer break and at the end of the season, the more runs you get in your wind tunnel, and the more computational flow dynamics tests you can run on your computers. Ferrari could really aid their championship ambitions next season if they were to finish lower than second in the Constructors' Championship, but that isn't even a thought in their minds. They want to do as well as they can right now. Something that would be a big help in securing second would be Lewis Hamilton picking up some podium finishes to back up the performances of his teammate. His relative underperformance this season has raised some eyebrows, and his explanation for it, that he isn't comfortable with the Ferrari's engine braking, has been believed to a point. But also, there have been questions about whether he really wants to be racing in F1 anymore. I guess that's what half a season at Ferrari does to a man. But Carlos Sainz recently backed up Hamilton's comments about engine braking. Before I talk about that though, if you're enjoying the video and want to catch more news and analysis on the current F1 season, then make sure to give this video a like and subscribe to F1 Reverse. Thanks a lot. Lewis Hamilton has insisted that he is still in love with Formula 1, despite the 7-time world champion's particularly painful weekend last time out in Hungary. Hamilton described a big struggle after Friday's practice sessions at the Hungaroring and dramatically dropped out in the second qualifying phase, while Ferrari teammate Charles Leclerc went on to claim pole position. Afterwards, Hamilton's comments made headlines around the world when he described himself as absolutely useless and suggested Ferrari probably need to change driver as a result. On race day, the Briton started and finished 12th, leading to another brief round of interviews with broadcasters, during which he said he is looking forward to going away over the summer break. It was a very negative review of his own performances so far, but after a decade of pretty comfortable success at Mercedes, the jump to Ferrari has been difficult. A big part of that has been his confidence in the car, especially under braking. The reasoning has been that the feeling of the engine braking between the Ferrari engine and the Mercedes engine is massive, and after a decade of learning the feel of that Mercedes engine under braking, he's now struggling to get to grips with the Ferrari. It is a problem that Carlos Sainz has been dealing with, but in reverse. Having moved from Ferrari to Williams this season to make space for Hamilton, Sainz has revealed that the Williams Formula 1 car feels completely different due to the variance in engine braking compared to the Ferrari. Sainz's season has gone very similarly to that of his Ferrari replacement. Sainz has been outscored by 38 points by his new teammate Alex Albon, a gap which has surprised many fans and analysts. The Spaniard explained that he has had to change his driving style to adapt to the change in engine manufacturer. Ahead of the Hungarian Grand Prix, Sainz said, "Engine braking? Can I draw it and explain it to you in a computer? Because here, just speaking about it, obviously, I'm not going to go into detail, but it's completely different," he told the media. The way you use the gears, the downshift, and how it goes into engine braking, the transition from the brake migration to the engine braking is different. You have to change your driving style for sure. For both Sainz and Hamilton, it has been a challenge to adapt, and Carlos said that after 14 races, he still didn't feel that much closer to getting comfortable, but it was just something that he was going to have to keep working at. Sainz and Hamilton are both going to be staying with their team for next season, so both are going to have to hope that they can get comfortable before the end of this year, because from race 1 of 2026, everything is going to be up for grabs. Do you think Ferrari can hold on to second place in the Constructors' Championship this season and win a race? And what do you think of Sainz admitting to the same problems as Hamilton? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and until next time, drive safe and bye for now.